Hi everyone, my name is Sam Barfield, and this is my story. Sorry. And, oh, by the way, I have a water bottle here, so if I start taking a drink during my story, sorry, I just need it. It's late at night and my voice is kind of giving out, so. And sorry if I take any pauses. I'm probably just like, I don't know, just I'm gonna need pauses at some point. But yeah, this is my story. In about mid-October last year, which would be 2013, on October 10th, 2013, like I said, I was in bed, I think it was a Thursday night. Yeah, I'm just about positive. And it was getting around like 11:30, midnight-ish, when my sister Alex texted me. And then she called me, asking if she could have my mom on the phone. And so I gave my phone to my mom, and I didn't really know what was happening. So they were talking for a while, and I tried to like peek in the room, and I would ask like what was happening. And eventually they hung up, and my mom had told me that my brother Eric and his girlfriend had been in a car accident, and they were in the hospital. So, and like I said, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now I moved down here about 3 years ago, but my brother and sister are up at their living at their dad's, and that's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Well, in that general area. But where was I? Oh, yeah. And after the call, we started to pack up like some clothes and stuff, because we were going to try to drive up to Michigan for like the weekend or so, and just like see how he was and stuff like that. But as we were starting to pull out and drive down the road, my mom got another call from my sister, and she was saying that that my brother didn't make it, and I just didn't know what to do. I just sort of sat in the car and just broke down. Both my mom and my dad did. You don't really know what it's like to experience something like that until you actually do. And it's something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. It's something else. And we had found out, and after that, we just basically sat in the car for like 10 or 15 minutes just crying to each other, and we just didn't know what to do but to cry. That's all we did for like the next 20 minutes. And afterwards, I don't think I said another word for probably the next 24 hours or something like that. I was just silent. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to say anything or hear anyone talk to me or just talk in general. We just went up to my mom's room, and I just laid down on her bed with her for like 30 minutes or so, And then we started to continue to pack. So we packed for like a week or so, just enough stuff for like a week or something like that. And we head up to Michigan, and I don't know when everyone else my mom and my dad found out about it, but I think I learned that like maybe an hour or so into the ride. I don't exactly remember, but my brother's girlfriend Andrea had also been in the car, and she was also killed. And at this time, I still had no idea how they died. I just knew they were in a car accident, and I just didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, didn't know who to talk to, didn't know what to think, didn't know what to feel, didn't know what I was supposed to be feeling. I just didn't know. And when I had found out that a drunk driver had killed them, I just didn't know what to say. I had found out from, I don't even know who it was. It might have been my sister, but I just remember finding out that they were driving through an intersection. It was late at night, like 10:30 or something like that. And they were passing through an intersection, and I don't know which direction each was, but I believe on the right there was like a semi truck just stopped because it was at a red light, obviously. And so, like I said, my brother and his girlfriend are pulling through the intersection when a drunk driver in his pickup, going however fast, just nailed the side of their car, and it sent, from what I heard, it sent their car into the stopped semi truck. And I can only hope that it knocked them out or something like that. Definitely would not want them to have to suffer through that. But Andrea died later that night, like before midnight, and my brother Eric died early in the AM. I don't know exactly what time, but so Andrea died on October 10th, and Eric was on October 11th. And I just don't know. But a couple days later, well, before that, like, we had been driving all night. We left at like midnight, and so we got to my grandparents' house at like 6 in the morning or something like that. We stopped at a hotel, I think. Yeah, and then we stayed the night there, and then we in the morning we went to my grandparents' house, and when we got there, my aunt and my sister were also there, but nobody was talking. They were just hugging and crying. And that's all we did. We just hugged and cried, because that's really all we could do. And I don't know. But a couple of days later, we had the funeral for him, and honestly, it was probably the most amazing thing I've ever, amazing yet upsetting thing I've ever seen. But it was amazing for the wrong reasons, because at his funeral, our family, of course, were the first ones to arrive to see him in his casket. But as within 30 minutes there was probably 50 other people there, and then within the next hour or two there were several hundred that have gone through. And it was amazing to see how many people he affected. And by the end of it, I was so tired of hearing "I'm sorry" and then being given a hug. I just didn't want to talk to anyone for the, I don't even know, but I just remember my friend Dakota and Dakota Smith, his family, they let me come over and spend the night for 2 nights, I think, something like that, and they honestly helped so much. If you ever lose someone, I know the last thing you want to do is talk to people and socialize, but it helps so much to just know that people are there and they care for you. And it just means so much. But I remember being at the funeral, and I'm not sure I cried a single time, because I remember seeing him in the casket, and I just stood there, just staring at his body, because I didn't know what to do or what to feel, how I should feel. I just didn't feel anything. I probably stood in one spot for 30 or 45 minutes straight, just looking. And I don't even know. And Andrea's funeral was held the day after, I believe, but I just couldn't go to it. I just couldn't handle it. I knew if I had gone, I would have eventually snapped and broken down. But I did get a chance to meet Andrea's family at Eric's funeral, and they're such wonderful people. I'm so sorry. But after that, every day just started to blend together, because I would dread waking up the next day knowing that Eric wasn't going to be there. Just knowing that for the rest of my life, he's not going to be a part of it. He's not going to experience everything. From that point on, I don't even know what I was feeling, mainly because I'm pretty sure I just wasn't feeling anything. I remember telling probably 3 people at my, in Cincinnati about what had happened. No, one of my friends had found out, and I told 2 other people, but I remember for the longest time I just didn't talk about it at all. And I would just avoid the topic of my brother or just my family in Michigan as much as I could, and I would try and seem cheerful or like my normal self on the outside, but in reality, on the inside, I was just basically dead, emotionless. I didn't want to just see another minute. From that point on, I tried everything I could to try and make myself feel better. I would try and hang out with friends more often. That would just be a temporary fix, but immediately after, I just go back to feeling horrible. And I tried therapy, and this is just me. This could be completely different for anyone else, but personally, I absolutely hated it. Just from the second I stepped foot into the therapist's office, I knew I wasn't going to like it. I just didn't want to talk about what I was feeling. I just didn't want to talk to anyone at all. Didn't want to talk about what had happened, what I felt or just didn't feel during. And I just hated every second of it. But that could be different for you guys. I'm sure you might not want to try therapy, but it might end up working. But I don't know. If you have the option to try therapy, just try it. it'll probably work for you guys. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I would just try anything and everything I could to try and make myself feel better and get myself back to just my normal state. And I don't think I went a single day without feeling completely dead inside for like 6 or 7 months. And I remember having to give an English presentation. It was on drunk driving. And at the end, I remember we had to explain why we were like a credible source or something like that. And I remember just coming out and saying, because my brother was killed by a drunk driver, and I just remember standing there trying not to cry in front of my entire class as everyone else was dead silent. And it was honestly a great relief to get it off my chest and to at least tell a small group of people about it. I even made a really great new friend because she had a similar experience. She said she had lost a family friend to a drunk driver as well. And now, I mean, we're great friends, but it's weird how that works. But and I remember a couple weeks ago on July 11th, it was Eric, the 9-month anniversary of Eric's death, and I had forgotten about it. I had every single 11th I would just be thinking about him, and there wasn't a single day where I wasn't thinking about him. But on July 11th, 2014, I had forgotten it was the anniversary. And I didn't know whether to be sad that I had forgotten about him or elated because I wasn't thinking about his death. And for the first time in forever, I just wasn't thinking about him being gone. I was just thinking about him. And I didn't know how to feel. But now it's July 24th, and I still don't know whether to be sad or happy that I had forgotten. But I guess that's my story. I don't know. But ever since his death, I've worn a wristband that says, well, on the front, I don't think you'd be able to see it, but on the front there, yeah, you can't really see it. Like on the left here, it has a small little picture of a fish, and then it says, "In loving memory of fish." Sorry. And on the other side, it has another little small fish picture thing. And the reason why it says "in loving memory of fish" is because Fish is his last name. Fisher is his last name, so all of his friends and basically anyone who knew him besides like family, I guess, would call him Fish. But and then on the back says October 11th, 2013. And on the inside it says 08, like the 08. And I just have that because it's something that just his friends would say sometimes, because that's the year they graduated from high school, except for his friend Scat, because he's young and graduated a year later. But yeah, it's my story, I guess. Thank you for watching, and maybe see you later. I don't know. I'm not good at this. See you guys. Bye. Thanks for watching.